So, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, pleased to call this meeting of the Toastmasters 100 Success open. So today we have, we need a timer. If anybody's willing to be the timer. You want to be timer?
My phone died.
Oh, your phone died. Your
That's
phone
why it's
died.
Okay, I'll be the timer.
I'll be the timer. Okay, all right.
I'll be the
That's
timer.
probably on purpose.
Oh no, Joy will be the timer.
Oh, Joy will be the
Hi, how are
timer.
you?
Joy,
Good to see you.
you
How are you?
promised you'll be here every week if you are available,
Yeah,
but you only came once.
yes. Just
So I'm
Twice.
going to be the timer.
oh, okay.
Okay.
You see?
And an odd counter.
Our counter and grammarians together, right?
Well, Paul was going to be grammarian, so it'll be a little bit difficult for him to count odds to do both. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
he's going to get
Food.
see if there's any more steak left at UGM. Yes. So
There's no steak serving today.
yeah,
No
He said he was gonna get steak.
Right.
but if you're the one controlling it,
I heard something.
no. Okay.
Someone just came.
Well,
Oh, wait,
The-
you know what? Well,
the-
that's- yes,
the role of the
yes,
odd
yes,
counter
yeah, I forgot about that.
is to count the number of so, like, and this and that. We have this here just symbolically that you're the odd counter. Is that okay?
As long as I don't have to read it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, odd counter.
Our counter. Okay.
And grammarian, Paul, is looking for steak.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I'll
I can
be-
do that.
yeah, I know.
If he get a steak, I'll do the grammarian.
Okay,
If
all
he
right.
doesn't get a steak, he will do the grammarian.
Yes, yes. All right.
Right?
And,
And my grammarian is going to be full of germs.
yes.
Just for today. Okay, everyone prepare some antibiotic, huh?
You're
I know, I
a
know.
Germanian.
Germanian.
If you need
I like that
antibiotics,
word.
just come to me.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you do have it? I thought this is kind of like prescription stuff.
Well, it is, but I already have the prescription.
All right,
Oh, very
so
good.
we have prepared speeches today by Howard, who's gone with Paul to look for steak.
Oh, Howard is gone for steak here?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I saw them together, so
Oh,
they may
okay.
be here later. So then next we have Ben.
Only if I can get a piece of the steak. Then I'll stop.
Then you have to ask Howard. Howard and Paul.
Peach from India.
Here, you want the fat or the leg? I don't mind. Yeah.
Anything that's lean.
And Lloyd. And so
So Howard, Lloyd, and
Howard, Lloyd, and Ben.
Ben. Oh,
Yes.
good.
And this month's theme is leadership. So
Leadership.
Leadership. So we need some evaluators.
All month long.
Well, next week is end of the month. Month
Yeah.
end, yeah.
Next week is Ted, right?
Next week, does it fall on the Wednesday? I don't think it falls on the Wednesday.
Okay, so it would be week after.
The week after it would be the
Okay.
TED, yeah. Yeah. So, first, so I need some evaluators. Harvey shall be an
Harvey.
evaluator. And
Jamie.
Jamie shall be another evaluator.
I'll evaluate.
And I'll evaluate the last one when he comes, when and if he comes.
Okay.
All
So
right.
who's doing prepared speeches? Me and.
You, Ben, and Howard.
Howard. So
Yeah.
Howard will be the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
The last time I was here, I evaluated Lloyd, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. All right. So that is today's agenda. I'd like to call first
Got your book.
our timer to the stage to explain the timing rule.
So,
On the stage.
On the stage.
Shake her hand.
Yeah. So you can look at it.
Yes.
It tells you the times on the back of that card.
Yeah.
so, so, can I just, no
Hey.
start?
Yeah, yeah. Hello, my name is Joy. I will be your timer tonight.
Okay.
Seat in the back.
Okay,
Where's the
before
steak?
you come in,
Where's
did
the
you
steak
get a
here?
steak?
I thought he was getting steak for us.
That's what I
No,
thought.
that's a mistake.
That's what I thought.
Oh, mistake,
Mistake.
Hi everyone, and I'm Joy.
Here, here.
Oh, I like here.
And
This is
the
good.
Oh,
second
no.
time
Come
I
on,
just
man.
Here, and tonight I am the timer. So hope I can. I think I will be a very good timer. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Question, when am I supposed to start counting?
Whenever you want to start.
Already count?
Okay. All right.
Remember for the.
Well, then.
You can write down, right? You can just write down, and then later on you will do a little briefing on how many people are having how many.
So, Michael, would you like to introduce yourself to the group as the accountant?
Just like what you.
I already did, I'm Michael.
You have to
Yeah,
stand
you have to shake his hand. You have to shake his hand.
I'm getting the clue again, Michael. And
There
all I'm
you
supposed
go.
to do is count myself?
You can.
You set a good example. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
All right. We understand.
Yes.
but I'm not
We
writing
do.
myself down for
We
that.
do understand.
Finally,
It's
we
not
have
that
Paul,
easy to
who
get
is
up
our
to the top.
I
grammarian.
am, really?
Yes.
I was gonna have a coffee.
We get through.
Hi, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I really didn't plan to do anything, to be perfectly honest. I just come to say goodbye, right? This is my last night at Toastmasters. I'm going on holidays.
Oh.
I just really, I didn't expect so many people. I really like to
Farewell
just come
here.
to say bye, but I will try to remember. I didn't bring a pen or anything, so.
You want a pen and paper?
Not really, no. I'll try to remember, but as far as I'm concerned, everybody did an awesome job.
How long will we be away?
Come on.
All right.
Nice.
But did you see Howard? Like he's supposed
He's
to
coming,
be with
yeah.
you. He's coming. Right?
Yeah, he just.
So you share the piece of steak with him, and
No, he's still eating his.
oh, he's
Oh,
there.
Howard's a little slower than Paul.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. So, UGM serves steak on check days.
Oh.
Oh, anyways. All right. So, moving up the schedule a bit, I'd like to bring up Ben to the stage
So we're
for.
not waiting for Howard. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Fellow Toastmaster, honorable guests, and especially some of our guests are from overseas, right? From
Yeah.
Taiwan. We really welcome you. This is actually a prepared speech on leadership. Leadership, in Chinese, we call 领导才. But in fact, if you Google, they only put two words, 领导, instead of 领导才 for some reason. I think the last character is quite important. Leadership is different than leader, obviously. It's about the ability of being a leader. So that's why it's leadership. So the translation from Google, if someone is associated with Google, should update them. It's not 领导 only, it's 领导才. So the reason why I want to bring up the Chinese equivalent of leadership is because first we have some honorable guests from Taiwan, and later on maybe they can also share their own view about leadership in the cultural connotation. Because from my observation, in the last while that I was involved with different groups, leadership does have certain cultural element in it. So, for example, if you are from mainland China, the leader over there, they have certain charisma that is different than the Western leader, like our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. He's the leader of the Liberal Party. Also, he's the leader of, the current, running government. The reason why I think the two different type of West and East leadership style are different, it could be because of, since we are a Christian group here, I would like to put an argument that is, it could be because of, Christianity. I somehow see that Western leaders, most of them oftentimes are Christians. And somehow they have more ability to accept different opinions. And in a general term, it's kind of like they can accept a more democratic process because they're Christians. They understand they themselves were chosen to lead because God gave him the rights or the ability to lead, not because of himself. So when he lead with a lot of humbleness within him. So that's why the Western leader, chances are they are a lot more democratic. Of course, there are exceptions. I don't want to name whom, maybe Donald Trump or someone else. And on the other hand, if you look at Asian leaders, let's just limit it because Asia is very big too. I would just say that leader from mainland China. Because of the vast history of China, the profound kingship that across 5,000 years. So the leadership style in China, especially without much influence of the Christianity, because China is somehow situated in a piece of land that is quite isolated. So Christianity didn't really penetrate China that well. It did reach China in certain dynasty, but it didn't really pan out because China itself have a very deep culture like Confucianism, like the imperialism, and both of this they echo to each other. They believe that leaders should have the absolute power. So anyone that stand in the position of leader, everyone should just bow to the leader because the leader is in absolute power. No one should challenge. So in the old days, there were a lot of different philosophy in China, and one particular philosophy became the leading philosophy because the king supported, and that is Confucianism, which is quite different than Christianity. Not to comment whether Confucianism is good or bad, but that's one very interesting aspect of Confucianism is the king is absolutely need to be bow down. You have to bow down to your king, and you have to absolutely be loyal to your king. And this is the only way to maintain the order of the society. So in Chinese we call 君君臣臣父父子子. And this order means the king and then his subordinate, the father and then the son. So the relationship, the king to the civilian is kind of like the father to the son. So in the old days in China, let's say, the son have to bow down to the father, no matter what the father do. So the father is supposed to be naturally the leader of the family. But even though the father did pretty bad things, let's say, really wrong stuff, but no one dare challenge the father. Same with the king. If the king is good, then everyone is good, happy, right? But if the king is bad, really you have nothing you can do. However, with Christianity, from Israel and then later on to Rome and then Paul, using the common language, Greek, to kind of like spread the gospel through the New Testament, and then every European nations or the early Eastern Europe and Western Europe, they will benefit from that God-given words, which is the Bible. Because of that, then the Western leaders, somehow they will benefit from that. So I would argue, if China was not situated in that geographic land, which is surrounded by ocean in the east and in the east side and the south side, and in the west side is mainly mountain range, tall mountains like the Himalaya, and then the north is the desert, like Gobi Desert. If China is not so secluded in those environments, Christianity can easily reach China through the less dangerous Silk Road, through land, or the ocean pathway, then maybe the leader in China can be as democratic. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Now we have his evaluator, which I think is Jamie. Jamie. All right.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Ben, that was a really good prepared speech. I think you probably did quite a bit of preparation, and it showed in the outcome. One thing that really stood out to me was the thing I think was most excellent about the speech is the content. You had a very clear focus in contrasting, in opening with the topic of leadership, but then focusing in on the contrast between what you see as Western and Eastern, or particularly Chinese, conceptions of leadership and how that plays out. So I think that was a good way to keep the audience interested and listening, because we were following that track. And I thought that you did it, even though it did seem you thought there were it came through that you saw benefits in the Western style of leadership. I thought your development of the argument was quite nuanced. I didn't come away thinking, or it didn't come away as though you thought this is all bad, this is all good. There was a nuance to it, a sophistication to the argument. So I appreciated that. I think if there's any area in the speech that I think could be improved, maybe the end. I think the point about the geography, it was interesting. I think about speculating about what would have happened if China's geography was different, such that Christianity had entered earlier. I thought maybe a stronger way to finish would have been talking about how, given that, as I understand, there's quite a growing population of Christians in China. Maybe talk about how is that resulting in changes in the political culture in China or not. That might have been another way to end. But that was a very small thing. The other excellent thing I thought about your speech is your use of hand gestures. And I can't remember now if you've always been good with hand gestures, or have you been working on that?
Maybe, yeah, I've been working on
But you were very good with hand gestures today. One example that stood out was you were talking about Confucianism, and how in Confucianism the political leader is like a father to a son. So you're using your hands like the king is to the citizen as the father is to the son. Things like that I think really helped to develop your points and make them clear and interesting. So yeah, hand gestures were really strong. That's I think all for my evaluation.
Thank you, Jimmy. Next, we have Lloyd. Come to the table.
All right.
Prepare a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck, sir.
I'll need it. Gotta break the ice, right?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta make my brain work here. Honored Toastmasters and how did I say? Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, pleasure to have you here this morning. I'll be speaking on leadership. Now, I really like what you were saying there, Ben, about the difference between leading and leadership. Because leadership is the one thing that I'm talking about tonight. Because, see, I once was a very broken man. And then I came to a point in my life where I needed to do something in my life, because I was going down this wrong road, but I didn't want to go down this wrong road anymore. And I didn't want to see anybody else go down this wrong road into, say, homelessness and drug addiction anymore, because I had been there. So I decided that I wanted to become a leader, but I needed that leadership ability. So I started following one of the best leaders that this world has ever seen, that ever walked the face of this earth, and that leader was the name Jesus Christ, the man Jesus Christ. So I decided to follow this man Jesus Christ because I started reading the Bible, and I had become a Christian. And I started reading about this guy Jesus, and I says, you know what? I really like this guy. This guy's a really powerful guy. He's the Son of God. And I've met God because he took away my addiction and brought me out of homelessness. So I says, you know what? I am going to, through my relationship with this God, become a leader through Jesus Christ. Now, one thing about leadership is you can't lead unless you can follow. So I learned that to follow Jesus Christ was making me a good leader. And every day I walk in my life with humbleness, with integrity, and the righteousness of Jesus Christ, making righteous decisions every day in in my walk every day, so that when people see me, they say, I want what that guy's got, right? And not because I tell people what to do, not because I boss people around and that, because I don't like to boss people around. I don't want to be a boss. I just want to try and lead people to a point in life where they don't have to feel where they have no self-worth anymore, where they can feel like they are somebody in this world, right? So they're not drowning in addiction, because addiction is so heavy in this world that it needs leadership. So that is what I was wanting to speak to this evening about Jesus Christ and how I follow Jesus Christ. And he gives me the ability to lead by example, right? So to lead by example means to be a person of stand up, that will reach down and help up the lowest of the low, right? When somebody falls down, help them up, or don't let them fall down. You know, put yourself out to help them. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lloyd. All right, very good. So next we have Harvey for Lloyd's evaluation.
Thank you.
And you made lots of notes.
I made notes.
Copious
I like
amounts
to
of
make
notes.
Fellow Toastmasters, honoured guests, for those of you who are new or first timers, one thing you should know about Lloyd is that pretty much every time he speaks, we get to Jesus somehow. He is a preacher at heart. And so it wasn't surprising that when he's talking about leadership, Jesus came pretty quick into the equation. I think maybe in the first 30 seconds. Not a record for Lloyd, but inevitable. So I am pleasantly pleased to hear that. Lloyd, you're doing really well. This was an excellent speech because it had both insight into leadership and also the personal experience. And I wrote some notes about various things you said. The first thing you did, which was really clever, while you were composing yourself, you went for an easy win on the speech by tying it into what Ben had talked about and stressing that you were talking about leadership, not about being a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Great start, because we're going, oh, okay, he was listening to him, I'm going to listen to this guy. What's he got to say about leadership? So you started with your personal story and you called yourself a broken man, which I think is a really good description of what I know about your history. And then talking about being on the wrong road. And I noticed that you repeated that 3 times, the wrong road phrase, so that we really got an understanding of where you were. And then you moved on into, let's check my notes, that you needed that leadership ability. And here it is, you said, well, the best example of leader is Jesus. There we go, we've got 30 seconds in and we've got Jesus going, good preaching, the man is on it. I got that written down there. Bringing Jesus into the speech is Lloyd's style. And you said, quote, I really like this guy, speaking about Jesus. He's a powerful guy, he's the Son of God, and he brought me out of addiction and homelessness. Well, there's a testimony in about 20 words, if ever I've heard one. That pretty much describes Jesus. So you got that, and then he said, you can't lead unless you can follow. And this is the bit where you're actually not just doing the personal testimony part, but you're actually talking about leadership. That following is kind of like the prerequisite to being a good leader. And we see that in your life, that you are a follower and you're growing into being a leader. So you're practically demonstrating it to us and you're also talking about it. So for those that don't know Lloyd, he's speaking from his experience. And it's great to hear that you had that confidence to talk about this from your own experience. And then you moved on into you have your 3 catchphrase words that you really like: humbleness, integrity, and righteousness. Mm-hmm. You do bring those into your speeches every time. So for us that know you, we're like, oh yeah, he's tying those in. Great principles that Jesus taught and that you, I think, exemplify, which is a fancy word for saying you do that. And then you moved on that you don't want to be a boss. And I was like, but hold on, we're talking about leadership. And then I thought, oh, he's being really smart. There's something about being a boss that is not what Lloyd wants. I just want to lead people to a point in life where they, and then you listed various different things that you wanted to lead them out of: homelessness, addiction, feeling like they don't have self-worth. So, and then you were talking about lifting people up and pushing them up, and these kind of ideas that helped us to relate to the fact that you're talking about Jesus, not bossy people. So this was a great talk. I can't think of anything bad. I would have liked to have heard more. That was it. Cool.
Very good.
Very good. Thank you very much. Harvey.
Hey, boy.
All right.
It's speechless.
Yes. All right. So we're now moving on to the table topic portion of tonight. Okay. All right. See you, Jamie.
See you, Jay.
Hey, Jamie.
Bye. So tonight's table topic is punctuality. So
How it's late.
Yeah,
Howard's
Howard still never showed, I don't
no, I
know.
was late.
He said he was coming, he did, I don't know.
Punctuality.
Okay. Punctuality.
How big is that steak? We have to.
Very small. Yeah, I don't know, he said he was coming. He maybe got lost. I went to the downstairs first and it was
Yeah.
kind of very full.
He's down there.
Maybe, that could actually happen. With Howard, yeah, that actually
Or
could
maybe he
happen.
went downstairs.
Well, yeah, that's what I did to start with.
And singing Korean.
With Howard? Maybe not the Korean part, but he might be there.
Uh-oh.
Anyways,
Sergeant at Arms.
yes. Anyways, so tonight's table topic is punctuality.
Okay.
And so who would like to come up first? Paul.
Well, I was late, so
All right.
I thought I didn't catch that part.
Okay. Okay. Knowing that you're here almost 7 days a week,
Not quite.
not quite, and you will be away soon. What will be the hardest part of coming back from your vacation?
Wow. I can't say. I don't know. Coming back here, I don't know. What will be the hardest part? Well, I would say it's going to be getting used to the city again. Although I'm flying into Toronto, I will not spend most of my time in Toronto. I will be in the country. My folks live on a dirt road in a little bay on a lake in the middle of nowhere. Literally, it's like
On a lake.
yeah, it's like 100 and some miles out of Toronto. Anyways, it's nothing like here. It will be totally dark at night, and there'll be bullfrogs and little frogs and grasshoppers, and that'll be the sounds at night. There'll be no ambulances and fire trucks, and well, you know, if you live in this area, you know the sounds of this area for sure are interesting to say the least. Yeah, yes, it's going to be very different coming back here, I would think. After that, last year when I went, I couldn't sleep the first couple nights. I'm just so used to noise that it's dark. It's like dark. You can't even get up and pee without turning a light on. Yeah, it's dark. It's not dark like here, you know. At night you turn the lights on, but you can still see in your place. And yeah, it's dark there, and it's quiet. Like I said, you can hear frogs and I don't know, different stuff making noise at night, but nothing like here. You're just so used to here. Although I do like the mountains, I must say. Every time I'm in Ontario, I miss the mountains so much. There's just something about getting up in the morning and looking out at the mountains. It's pretty great. I don't know. I do not know what I'll like the most or not like the most when I come back here. What did you say?
What will be the hardest part of coming back?
Yeah, the city part, I would think. I mean, I'll just get used to being in the country and have to be in the city again. It's, you know, watching when you step across the road and that kind of deal. Yeah, I don't know what'll be the hardest part, but I'm sure I'll be anxious by the time I come back. Last year I know I was anxious to go, but I was anxious to also come back, so there you go, that's all I got to say.
Who's next?
Paul next.
Well, I don't know, Lloyd, you want to be next, we'll go around
What
the
is it
circle.
about?
Punctuality or
Really?
He's going to a vacation.
Here,
He's going
I'll
to
shake your
ask.
hand right here.
Yes.
you asked
Thank
Lloyd a
you,
question.
sir.
I'll ask Lloyd the question. What do you think about people being late?
What do I think about people
Remember,
being
I was late.
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, let me tell you about what I think about people being late. Well, when people are being late, it makes it really hard to say organize things. Like, so you're about to set up a job or something like that you need to get done or something like that, and you have people say, yes, I will come and help you. No, I don't think it makes any difference whether or not they're being paid money for it or not. But if you say you're going to be there, then you need to be there, because it's just the order of things. When something is organized and you have a job descripted to each individual to get done, then you have a plan. But when somebody doesn't show up, then it throws your plan out of order. So I really don't like it when people are late. I don't even like it when I'm late. When I'm late for things, I really get down on myself, and I say to myself, these are all the things that go through my mind. Oh my goodness, I'm late. What are they going to do? What are they going to say to me? Oh, I've thrown the whole plan out of order. Oh no, this isn't good. So rather than have to be like that, I'd rather set my clock for 1 hour earlier than I would usually leave to be somewhere, so that I'm up and I know that I will be there, so that if there's any catastrophes or anything out on the streets or anything like that, I know I can go around them and be where I'm supposed to be on time. Being on time is something that should be really stressed in this world. People are really good at being late. They're really good at being late, but they're not as good as they should be at being punctual. So that's one of the things that I've worked in my life of coming out of homelessness back into society, is not being late, being punctual for everything and that. So, because that's part of my leadership abilities, you see, is to be punctual. When you're being a leadership and you're showing people how to be and you want them to follow, don't be late, be punctual. Thank you.
He's on fire.
Oh, who's next? That's my turn. Ellen,
you want to try?
Just a little bit.
No?
No?
It's optional for visitors.
It's
optional, yeah. Then there's Scott.
Scott. Okay, go on, Scott.
Scott's next.
I will.
Oh, you have to
It's
ask him a
hard to do
question.
your first
Ask him a
one.
question.
You have to-
Very
Go ahead.
hard.
You have to ask him a
Oh,
question.
I am so sorry, sir. I don't get sick.
Just watched.
I love you
What am I
guys.
going to say?
When
Yeah,
you
what was
ask
the question?
What's your
Oh,
question?
I just picked a topic.
Punctuality.
Punctuality,
Or
okay,
pick a topic.
What happens when you're late for things?
What happened if I'm late?
Yeah.
He's the boss.
Well, then let's hear the excuse about being lost and being late.
Fellow Toastmaster, good evening, and honored guest. The question is really an interesting question. I think Michael said it all. I'm the boss, so I can be anytime I want. No. Always as I'm trying to be early.
You have a choice.
It's not because of I'm so much I wanted to be punctuate or not. Put that aside. I'm really on a very different psychological path. I cannot handle the stress. Because if it's very much closer to the line, my blood pressure goes up, my mind goes crazy, and as it's not really, if I'm late, so big deal. I know that a lot of time. But it's like it's getting stress to myself that I cannot handle it. So this is where the difference is between particularly my wife and myself. My wife wanted to maximize every minute instead of waiting at the airport for the plane. I wanted to be there 2 hours earlier so I can read my book and I don't have to worry about it. So she's trying to delay the taking off or going to the airport or go to the meeting or go whatever, I stressed like you won't believe. So this is the reason when I say, I really, wanted to be there early. I don't want to be late. It's not because of I really wanted to be punctuated. I just wanted to save my mental stress a little better. Thank you very much. That was my Mr. Tall Guy.
Tall guy. Golo.
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 In Cantonese, talk.
I'm not as fearless as Lloyd.
Okay.
Elbows.
Is there some occasion or time you really don't want it to be late?
Is there some occasion or time when I personally don't want to be late?
Right.
Well, apart from the obvious that I can think of, which was to my own wedding.
That's good.
That would be an obvious one. Fellow Toastmasters and honoured guests. That would be my first thought. But actually, the one I would say is, I love to be on time for church. It is my personal opinion that being at church on time, or at least 5 or 10 minutes early, Lloyd is, he is true to his word, always there early, is a good thing. Because I feel like I'm going to see my best friends in the best place, in the house, with Jesus. See, I'm bringing it to Jesus. Like, will appreciate that. And so I always love to get there on time and to meet friends and shake their hands and meet some new people, get the full experience. And the one thing I don't quite understand is people that turn up late. My theory is that it's something to do with law and grace. That as Christians we're under grace, and this is the theological argument that they turn up late because grace abounds and the Lord will forgive me if I'm slightly late. But actually I think the real reason is that, well, certainly in Western cultures, that one arrives late to a party because then the party started. And so people coming to church arrive during the worship because now it's going and the band's rocking and they can come in and like that. And the start is kind of, what do I do? There's new people, I'm not sure. This is possibly Western culture, I'm not sure about Taiwan and China. It's probably completely different, but this is what I've observed. But I much prefer to be there early because, yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting people I know and don't know. So that is where I don't want to be late to. Thank you very much. Ben.
My turn.
Oh, good.
Scott's question has led me to a great idea, which is a bit similar, not where is the one place where you always want to be on time, but where is the one place where you always want to be late? I don't want to be there early.
Good one.
Reverse. You like to challenge
There's
me.
only one answer to that.
There's only one answer.
It's not your wedding, is it?
No, your funeral. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's such a good.
He answered
Yes.
for me. But technically you die already, so you cannot really attend your own funeral. So, but it was a good idea. Yeah, it's a good angle. It's a good angle. Fellow Toastmaster, good friend from Taiwan. I think first I would like to address the concept of late first, because we are a Toastmaster group and we have 2 handbooks, right? One is for the speech competency, and the other one, everyone should join our program, which is the competent leadership. And among this program, if you look at it, there's a section called time management. So the time management portion of it, I think is whoever wrote this book or the team that wrote this book understand that being a good Toastmaster, besides having good speech, timing, at the same time, the leadership timing is also important. We need to somehow prioritize our life, and at the same time know that certain time when we handle too many projects, we just have to delegate. And I myself lack the ability in this area. So oftentimes I kind of like maybe Scott's wife, I try to make the time too efficient so that if I go to the airport, I don't want to be 2 hours ahead. I'm kind of like Marian. I would like to be maybe 5 minutes. And then because I have my Nexus card, I would just go in, boom, boom, and then just go through the thing because I want to just save time on the trip, stuff like that. Oftentimes, this proven to be very dangerous because even the express line with that little card, sometimes you get stuck too. So back to the challenge that I got, in what situation I would rather be late than early? I would say, so far, if it is a happy event, of course I would like to be earlier than late, right? So the only situation that I would like to be later than early will be something that is more negative or unhappy event. So what type of event like this I would like to be late? Maybe in a board meeting that I know I didn't meet this year's target. And if I go in, the board of directors is going to, really storm at me. So for that type of meetings, chances are I would like to be, maybe just, 1 minute or, instead of 2 minutes before, 1 minute before, I will be there. Thank you.
All right.
Oh,
We have
thank
a
you.
question.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. Okay. Earlier I was using the book about time management. right?
Yes.
So, and then I mentioned about how to make use of the prioritization to avoid being late in certain things. So, what is your rule of prioritizations? How do you set something are more important and something are less important? What is your rule of thumb?
Oh, this is a very easy question for me. Everything is not a priority. I try to hide everything right away. It used to be I would. There's been a couple of periods in my life where I would have high priority, medium priority, low priority, and I do everything high priority first and then medium priority. After I went through my difficulties, everything became under the table, low priority kind of things. Mainly because I didn't want to deal with a lot of things. And a lot of times I didn't really understand the importance of a lot of things. You'd give me a task, say, set up the Toastmasters system, site, whatever. And this would be, oh, okay, all right, I can do that. I can do that, and then it would go onto my pile of to-dos and get lost in that pile. And very, very, very often that caused me so many problems later on because it just didn't occur to me that I needed to do that. But nowadays, I'm getting to the point where, yes, I have a high priority, which I'll get done like right away, and then I'll forget about it. And the low priority, which I'll eventually get to, and then forget about it. So now I'm learning how to keep, even if it's high priority, even if it's done, I need to keep it on my mind. Because sometimes that is something that you have to follow up on too, because a lot of these projects, whatever, with the church and whatnot, they're long-term projects. It's not just I deal with it today and it's finished. There's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 75, and I probably only did step 4, and somebody has to come back and say, what about step 5? And by the time they ask me about step 5, it's like, what is step 5? Which project are we talking about? Oh, that one, okay. But didn't I do that already? No, it's not that. Oh, it's something new. Okay, all right, okay, yes. So, this is where I am right now at prioritizing my life. Thank you very much. Michael, would you like to try?
Not really.
Not really?
Well, he is an honored guest.
You are an honored guest.
Oh.
All right. Joy, would you like to have a go at the table topic?
No.
No?
Maybe not.
No. No, all right, okay. All right, well, thank you very much, everybody, all the table topic people. So now we move on to the last parts of our agenda, which is the reports.
Whoa.
So first up, we have the timer report by Joy.
Joy.
So I think
Have you shake his hand?
It's procedure.
Yeah, handshaking.
I forgot.
No worries.
I think everyone is good, and I think it's yeah.
Everybody made it to the green card?
Of course not. Yeah, someone just got the not. I think that just got the red one. Maybe next time.
Mm.
Yeah. Everyone is better.
All right.
Okay.
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 All right. Thank you, Joy. Now we have our off counter report. Mr. Michael.
I'm allergic to something.
Oh no.
Maybe that grass.
Could be.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Think again. So our winner with is Jamie, and he left.
Good job, James.
Oh yeah, 10, 20, 30, 40.
Whoa!
Lloyd only like twice. Harvey none. And Ben, which was Ben, only 2 times. I don't know if I was supposed to be counting you too, but 8.
0.
It's a lucky number.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
So we need to talk to Jamie?
If you want, yeah. You can,
Okay.
you can say official Toastmaster report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40.
40.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't notice.
I was marking it and he looks over and sees me going.
Yeah, I noticed.
If
Lots of
it's a
them.
long R, you count 1 or count it.
No, I counted it. I wasn't just doing Oz, I was also doing
It's
It's
just
the same
seven.
thing.
Yeah. He did do a lot.
Because
did.
Ums and Oz are the same thing.
Yeah.
Finally, we have our grammarian report
Oh.
by Paul.
No.
Thank you,
Paul.
Kaiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of notes. I lost them though. The dog ate them or something. I can't remember. Let's see. There was 2 full speeches. Yours, I really liked that. I thought that was very good. And Lloyd's, I agree. It was very Christian, which he knows I like because, well, I'm a Christian and all that. It was a little short. That's the only thing I noticed. I don't know about the $10 words. I'm sure there was some in the speeches, but I didn't catch them.
Were there any phrases that you liked that anyone?
Not that I remember, but thanks for asking.
I guess we weren't that good.
Not that memorable anyways, what can I tell you?
Oh, that's right.
What can I say, my memory is good but very short. That's about all I got to say.
All right. That's great. Thank you, Paul. All right. Now let's have some general evaluations. And at the same time, probably try to make up the schedule for next week. Yes. So Paul's not gonna be here, so I guess it's my turn to do a speech. Michael may or may not be here.
No.
Michael.
You won't be?
We haven't seen him for a very long time.
Okay. Howard, come here. Come
We'd
here.
love to hear
Come
it.
here because the camera is there.
You come up with some good speech.
No, you don't.
Speeches,
What
icebreakers.
was the
Almost taught me
leadership.
karate.
this month's theme was leadership.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have leadership, and what's the word of the day?
No word of the day.
Okay.
Paul was primary, so no word of the day.
All right. Fellow honored Toastmasters, honored guests, friends, I had an awesome week. I did. I was looking forward to this too. I know it's about leadership, eh? At my work, I've talked about before, people look up to me because I look after them. And I had something happen today that made it all worthwhile. I had a young girl, young woman. She came up and she gave me a big hug, thanked me for saving her life a couple of weeks ago. Said thanks for letting me be here. That makes it all worthwhile. And it's, I'm high, you know. It's awesome, you know, to be able to help people like that. And yeah, you know, you deal with all kinds of people, from business people to the lowest of the low, right? They all need help. And I help people, I steer them towards housing, I steer them towards clothing, I steer them towards other outreach programs where I can. And that's what I do. And I guess that is kind of a leadership thing, right? So I'm trying to do the best I can. Just the same as I know each and every one of us here too do the same thing, right? You know, we all have our ministry, our purpose in life. It's what we're meant to do, right, Lloyd?
That's right, brother.
Yeah, it's all about God and what we're meant to do. I feel called to do what I'm doing, but I tell you, I'm looking forward to a holiday too. I'm doing it for like 6 months now, so it's been a while. It's time to take a break. Anyway, I don't know who's taking care of the time, but how much time have I got left?
I think maybe the 2 minutes,
Wow,
two
I
and
still
a half.
got lots of time, eh? Anyway, like I was saying, it's been an awesome day. Visited some good friends of mine. Got to enjoy the sunshine. It was awesome. Yesterday, did you guys enjoy the sunshine until the wind came up?
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
wow, there was trees falling all over the place. Yeah, unreal. A friend of mine was showing me some pictures about some swans with the little ones. Just awesome, eh? God's nature, you know. And he had the male. You could see in the picture it was like from here away. And the only reason why is because he would feed them, eh? Otherwise he would never be allowed anywhere close to them. But yeah, the mother and the little ones were no farther away than Scott. Yeah, it's pretty neat to see. Yeah. I'm not sure I have much more to say than leadership. We don't have a word of the day, so I can't go on that. Had an awesome week, guys. I'm really going to miss you guys when I'm gone, but I am
Miss
going to
you
enjoy
too.
the holiday.
Yeah. Enjoy your holiday.
We will miss you.
Enjoy,
That's right,
yeah,
that's right.
enjoy your
Alright.
holiday.
Yeah,
And it's a good suggestions for the 7:30 start.
yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
very
Well,
good.
yeah, no, there's quite a few of us, eh? We eat over at UGM, so, you know, it just makes sense easier.
Yeah.
Hello.
Totally makes sense.
fellows have a Bible here?
No, we've run out.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, very good.
yeah.
Do you know?
I've seen him around. He's coming in every so often, and he just escort him out.
You've been.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
tell them to swing by the well tomorrow, I'll find them one.
Tell them to check at the front of UGM too, lots of times they'll have a Bible there.
is.
I know.
Anyway, thank you very much,
Thank you. Yeah,
gentlemen and gentleladies.
it's great.
That was a great speech, yeah.
Very, very good.
Put a tear in my eye.
Now we don't have the gavel banger, does that mean we can't leave or what?
The president takes up the mantle of sergeant.
Maybe half the speech I managed to pay attention to. So
You need to have some.
the other half I had to deal with a phone call, and so fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, Howard's speech on leadership was more of a speech on inspiration and being inspired and being inspiration to people. So it was a very heartfelt speech. Everybody could feel that. He came up here ready to, you could see the excitement ready to burst out of him. Even when he was just standing here prefacing his big message. And when he finally did, he jumped. I haven't seen Howard move that fast in a long time. He was so excited, everybody could feel it. It was inspiring to all of us. And I think that was the real powerful moment in that speech. Howard's speeches are always very powerful. He has a way of drawing you in, whether with its quiet or with his excitement. And his voice is not loud, but it's not quiet either. And so those are two things that I really, really enjoyed about Howard's speech. Other than being a little late today, but you did make a very good suggestion, and we will look forward to the added punctuality of everybody in the summer months. So, thank you very much, Toastmasters. This concludes my evaluation of Howard's speech. So now I can cut it with this, and we're
Good to go.
we're good to go. Everybody's evaluated.
Yes.
Okay. Last one here.
Last one. Okay, I call this meeting. So, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, thank you very much for coming. I call this meeting to a close.